Today, we continue our journey into the Buddha's original teachings, returning to the heart of the Dhamma, the Noble Eightfold Path. In the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, the very first discourse after the Buddha's awakening, he laid out this path as the way out of suffering, the way toward peace, the way toward liberation. But far from being a list of rigid rules, the Eightfold Path is a living path, flexible, practical, and deeply human. It is a map for everyday life as much as it is a guide for awakening. When we look at the path, we may feel that the words are lofty or philosophical, right view, right intention, right speech. But behind every step lies something simple and immediate. These are not abstract ideals. They are descriptions of how the mind naturally moves toward freedom when it is wise and well-trained. My goal today is to take these ancient teachings and place them right in your hands in a way that feels close, recognizable, and useful. The Buddha often compared his teaching to medicine. He said the Four Noble Truths describe the diagnosis, the cause, the cure, and the treatment. And the Eightfold Path is exactly that treatment, the way we learn to live in such a way that suffering is reduced, wisdom is nourished, and peace becomes possible. Let's walk through the path as if we are walking down a single road, because the path is not 8 separate paths, but one unified practice. We begin with right view, which does not mean believing in a dogma or a philosophy, but seeing reality with clarity. In the Magga-vibhanga Sutta, the Buddha says that right view is understanding the Four Noble Truths, understanding suffering, its causes, its cessation, and the path that leads to its cessation. But we do not need to memorize these to begin. Right view starts with something much simpler, seeing things as they are. Think of a time you were disappointed. The disappointment usually came not from the world itself, but from the expectation you carried. A friend didn't act the way you hoped. A job didn't turn out as planned. A relationship didn't stay the way you imagined. Right view begins by recognizing this pattern. Suffering arises from clinging, from holding tightly to ideas and expectations. When we see this even for a moment, we are practicing right view. One of the most practical examples of right view is recognizing impermanence. Everything we experience, joy, sadness, success, failure, is constantly moving. When we know this deeply, we stop fighting reality. We learn to flow with life rather than resisting it. Right view is simply the wisdom that aligns us with how things truly work. From right view flows right intention, sometimes translated as right thought or right aspiration. In the early suttas, the Buddha described 3 aspects of right intention: intentions of renunciation, intentions of goodwill, and intentions of harmlessness. These may sound grand, but their real meaning is entirely accessible. Renunciation does not mean giving up everything you enjoy. It means giving up the mental habits that cause harm, giving up clinging, giving up greed, giving up the endless grasping for more. Imagine holding a burning coal tightly in your hand. Renunciation is simply the willingness to put the coal down. Goodwill is the intention to approach life with kindness. It doesn't mean you feel warmth toward everyone all the time. It means you choose not to feed thoughts of hatred or resentment. Harmlessness is the intention not to cause harm to yourself or others. Even small choices can reflect this intention. Choosing to speak gently, to pause before reacting, to treat yourself without harsh judgment. When these intentions guide your life, even slightly, the mind becomes lighter, more open, more joyful. From intention, we move naturally to action that reflects these wholesome states of mind. And so we arrive at right speech. This is one of the most practical and immediate parts of the path, because speech is something we use constantly. In the suttas, the Buddha defined right speech as refraining from false speech, harsh speech, divisive speech, and idle chatter. But beyond refraining, he encourages us to cultivate speech that is true, kind, and helpful. Let's consider an example. Someone criticizes you, and your instinct is to fire back. This is a moment when right speech becomes very real. Instead of reacting instantly, right speech suggests we pause and ask, will what I am about to say bring peace, or will it bring harm? When we speak out of clarity rather than habit, our words become medicine rather than weapons. Right speech also includes the courage to speak truth gently. Many people misunderstand Buddhist compassion as always staying silent or agreeable, but the Buddha taught wise honesty, speaking truth at the right time in the right way, with the right intention. Next is right action, which the Buddha describes as refraining from killing, stealing, and harmful sexual behavior. But at its heart, right action is not about moral policing. It is about living in such a way that your actions do not create suffering for yourself or others. When we act with kindness and respect, even in simple daily moments, the heart naturally becomes peaceful. A powerful example is the practice of non-harming. Even choosing to move a small insect out of your home instead of killing it cultivates compassion. These small acts accumulate and reshape the mind. Then comes right livelihood. This teaching is especially relevant in our modern world. The Buddha emphasized choosing work that does not harm others or create suffering. He listed specific harmful professions in the suttas, such as dealing in weapons, living beings, meat, intoxicants, or poisons, because these directly contribute to suffering. But right livelihood extends beyond these categories. It asks us to reflect. Does my work nourish peace or feed greed? Does it uplift others or exploit them? Even if your work is ordinary or imperfect, your attitude and intentions within it can align with the path. Right livelihood also reminds us that earning money should not become the center of life. The Buddha advised a balanced approach, enough to live, enough to support oneself, but without obsession. When livelihood becomes a path to service rather than just profit, life becomes more meaningful. Now we move into what the Buddha called the training of the mind. These final three factors, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration, are deeply interconnected. Right effort is sometimes misunderstood as forcing or pushing. But in the Sangharava Sutta and others, the Buddha explains that right effort is about 4 gentle tasks: preventing unwholesome states from arising, abandoning those that have arisen, cultivating wholesome states, and maintaining them. It is like tending a garden. You gently remove weeds, you water the flowers, and you protect what is growing. Right effort feels wholesome, not pressured. It is the willingness to practice again and again, even when the mind wanders. Think of a beginner learning to play piano. At first, it feels awkward, but with steady, joyful effort, not strain, skill develops. Right effort is simply the patience to return to the path each time the mind drifts. Next comes right mindfulness. The Buddha devoted entire discourses, especially the Satipatthana Sutta, to describe this practice in detail. Mindfulness is the act of remembering to stay present. It is knowing what you are doing while you are doing it. It is watching the body, feelings, mind, and phenomena clearly, without clinging or pushing away. One of the most accessible forms of mindfulness is breath awareness. When you sit quietly and feel the breath moving in and out without trying to change it, you are practicing the same mindfulness that the Buddha taught. But mindfulness is not limited to meditation. It can be practiced while washing dishes, walking, eating, or speaking. A simple example: when anger arises, mindfulness notices, Our anger is here. Instead of being swept away, we give ourselves room to understand the emotion. This alone reduces suffering. Mindfulness gives us the power to respond rather than react. Finally, the path culminates in right concentration, which refers to deep, stable states of meditation known as jhanas. But even if you do not enter jhana, the essence of right concentration is still accessible. It is the ability to hold the mind steady on a single wholesome object. It is the stillness that arises when the mind is no longer distracted by craving or resistance. The Buddha described right concentration as unification of mind. Think of a glass of muddy water. When the water is still, the mud settles. When the mind is still, clarity emerges. Concentration supports mindfulness, and mindfulness supports concentration. Together, they purify the mind. The Eightfold Path ends here, but it also begins here again, because the path is circular, holistic, and interconnected. Each factor supports the others. Right speech strengthens right mindfulness. Right view strengthens right effort. Right concentration strengthens right intention. They are not 8 tasks. They are 8 qualities of a wholesome, awakened mind. Imagine the Eightfold Path as a wheel, like the Dharma Chakra, the wheel of Dhamma. When all 8 spokes are strong, the wheel rolls smoothly. When one spoke weakens, the wheel wobbles. In the same way, the path invites us to strengthen each part of our life so that we may move forward with harmony and wisdom. The beauty of the Eightfold Path is that it meets us exactly where we are. You don't need to master all 8 at once. You can choose even one aspect, such as speaking more kindly or practicing 1 minute of mindfulness each day. And that alone begins to shift the mind. For example, imagine you choose to practice right mindfulness. A month later, you may notice that right speech becomes easier because you are more aware of your words. Or if you strengthen right intention, you may naturally find yourself feeling more compassion, which makes right action effortless. The path unfolds gently, organically, without force. The Buddha taught that walking this path leads to 3 great fruits: ethical living, mental purification, and liberating wisdom. Over time, the heart becomes lighter, the mind becomes clearer, and suffering loosens its grip. But even more importantly, the Eightfold Path leads us to a different way of being in the world, a way that is wise, compassionate, mindful, and free. When we align with the path, life becomes less of a struggle and more of a practice. We begin to see that our thoughts, words, and actions are not fixed. They can evolve. We can evolve. This is why the Buddha called the path the middle way, a way beyond extremes of self-indulgence and self-torment. It is a path of balance, a path of clarity, a path of freedom. As we end this teaching, I invite you to take a moment to reflect. Which part of the path resonates with you most right now? Is it the desire to speak more kindly, to cultivate mindfulness, to live with a clearer sense of purpose, to understand yourself more deeply? Choose one, hold it gently, let it guide your next step. Because the Eightfold Path is not something that exists in ancient books alone, it becomes real only when you breathe life into it, with your actions, your choices, and your awareness. The Buddha once said, "I only show the way." The Eightfold Path is that way. But it is you who walks it. May your steps be steady. May your mind grow clear. May you walk this path with courage, kindness, and wisdom. Thank you for journeying with me today. May the teachings of the Buddha continue to illuminate your path and bring you peace.